Hello guys, myself Dheeraj Sardana. I welcome you all on this wonderful platform, and this is the next session of production on the Ground Zero series. In the last session, we have seen the principle of arc welding. In this session, we are going to see the solid state welding processes, and in the upcoming session, we will also talk about the resistance welding. So guys, when we are talking about the solid state welding, as the name suggests, here actually melting of workpiece do not happen. So when melting of workpiece do not happen, what are the temperature ranges we are reaching up to? It is around 40% to 50%, or you can say 45% of the melting point temperature. So then how the weld will be performed? Weld will be performed with the help of diffusion process. So one material get diffused into the other. So guys, the point is, what are the processes which comes under solid state welding? So we are going to see three processes under that. The first one is explosive welding, second is ultrasonic, and third one is going to be the friction welding process. So one by one we will see all the three processes along with their application. First of all, let us have explosive welding process. As the name suggests, we are going to take the help of explosion in this welding process. You may be thinking, sir, explosion is going to create a large amount of energy. Then we will be having the plates to be left out, or they will also melt. So dear, we need to do the explosion in the limited edition. Otherwise, like whenever you are using the firecrackers in the Deepavali, there also you do the explosion, but in the very small limits, you can say. So here also we will be going for explosion, but limited explosion. So my dear, first of all, you can see there is a workpiece plate, and onto that we are going to have another plate that is said to be the flyer plate. That flyer plate is something which is going to stick or weld with this target plate. So when we are talking about the flyer plate, we are going to keep it at some angle, and also while the angle is provided to give the direction to the welding process. So you must have seen whenever we are going for the mobile cover, whenever you are going to have the guard on the mobile surface, then they also give a direction to the cover so that there should not be any air molecule should be there inside. So guys, similarly here also direction of welding is important. So direction of welding is provided by giving this angle to the flyer plate. And when we are talking about the flyer plate, you can see above which there is a buffer plate, and after that explosive material is provided. The reason behind that is, if explosive material is directly in contact with the flyer plate, it may harm the surface of flyer plate. And why we are having that buffer plate? One thing is, yes, to save the surface, and also buffer plate is made up of generally rubber, which is definitely absorbing the vibrations as well. So my dear, whenever we can see there are two things. One is the angle provided, other is the gap, standoff distance, which is provided from flyer plate to target plate. So the distance is provided to give an initial impact required for the welding process. So here we are using majorly pressure for the welding process also, and as we are not melting the plates, that's why it is said to be the solid state welding process. So guys, when we are talking about that, when the explosion will be started with the help of detonatory, then my dear, obviously explosion creates a lot of pressure waves. If you have seen the movies like Special Subbies, or there are many movies where blast scenes are shown, you must have seen in the blast scene, the peoples are just flying away here and there. So the same is going to happen with the flyer plate. Flyer plate is always thinner than the target plate, and whenever this explosion happens, flyer plate acts like a semi-solid, and just like it is flying and going towards the target plate and get stick over that. For the perfect welding setup, we are providing the standoff distance and also the angle. For cladding of cylinders, we are using this kind of process. So guys, the second process in the heading of solid state welding process is friction welding. As the name suggests, friction means relative motion. So here we have one rod to be fixed, and other rod will be moving at a very high speed. So when this moving rod and the fixed rod, they will be coming in contact with each other. You know that they will be having some kind of relative motion, because one rod is fixed, other is moving. So because of that relative motion, a lot of heat will be generated at the surface. And as you know, friction, whenever it comes, it always try to convince both the bodies to come at the same speed. So my dear, the friction will try to reduce the speed of the moving one and increase the speed of the fixed one. And after some time, they will be coming at the same speed. So during all this process, until the relative motion will be there, so the heat will be produced obviously, and along with the heat, we are going to provide pressure also. And because of that, diffusion weld will be formed. No doubt, here also there is no melting is going to happen. But yes, because of that friction, because of that heat, diffusion bonding will be there between both the materials, and you will be having the sticking or welding process to be happened. So guys, when we are talking about the friction welding process, the application is, if you see the drill bit and the shank, if you see the drill bit and the shank, they are joined with the same process. So when we are talking about this, is a very important question in the gate, it have been asked many times. So drill bit and shank are made up of different materials. So shank is of the material which is, drill bit and shank are of different material. Drill bit is made up of some hard material, whereas shank is made up of some tough material. To integrate both the properties, we are having different materials. For cutting edges, we need hard materials. So my dear, they are also joined with the same process, and this process was friction welding process. Third and the last under this heading, actually pressure weld and forge weld are also coming under this heading, but that we will see somewhere later, because they are not used in industrial applications. They are used in agricultural, or you can say very non-industrial types of applications. So when we are talking about the third one, that is ultrasonic welding. In ultrasonic welding, we are using the ultrasonic energy for the welding process. Here we are having a transducer which produces the vibration. There is a sonotrode which transfers, that is, sonotrode is nothing but a clamping arrangement which transfers the vibration to the HSS tool, and then HSS tool will be giving that energy to the workpieces, below which anvil is present and pressure is applied through anvil also. So because of pressure, the weld will be getting performed between both the bodies. But here, as you are using the vibrational energy, the HSS tool is vibrating like that. So because of this, whatever the welds produce here, they are not very, you can say, strong welds. They are very weak welds. But why we require that? It has its application in the field of electronics like diodes, semiconductors, transistors. Whenever we are joining diodes, transistors, and any electrical circuits needs to be joined, we are going for this process. So this is also solid state welding, no melting happens, but the welds are very weak, as I said. And guys, this was about solid state welding. Hope you guys are enjoying our these highly animated videos, and we will be coming up with one practice session of the welding also on Sunday. And you will see many other sessions like that will be going on. So just stay tuned with us.